talked about family learning, we've talked about family engagement. You know, are the two the same? And I've been wrestling with that, and I really think that there is a spectrum of involvement, engagement, of ways in which parents and children may work together. And if I use family in that form, every family has its own learning style. And so there are families where the parents are really wanting to get the kids talking, and we look at how those parents engage with their children and try to get them to observe and to look at things. But a lot of parents don't know how to do that. I mean, they may know how to at home, but there's a little bit of intimidation in a museum. And so the ways in which museums give them tools to use, simply to have great conversation, great opportunities for observation, that's really important. But then it goes all the way to that program where they're all around the same table and wanting to get the parents to do the project too, not for the kids, but that everybody has a role to play. So that is kind of a broad spectrum of ways in which we want to encourage this kind of really interacting together. The outcomes then are interesting because you talk about goals for what do you want to see happen. And there are a lot of learning outcomes that are kind of, you know, what they learn from the subject matter. But if it's effective, they're learning a lot about each other too. And I think that's an important part of when we plan, thinking about how we support that kind of family learning style.
I mean, Beverly brings up an interesting point, and it makes me think about a goal that we have is really supporting the range of parenting styles. And I think that when you talk about supporting a range of parenting styles, you're then inevitably hitting on that spectrum from engagement to learning, because I think that, and this is the importance of evaluation and the importance of listening to your audience, that different parents and different families come with different expectations of what they want out of the experience. And I believe it's our job to really understand that spectrum and then support that range.
I keep thinking about the families I used to watch at Old Sturbridge Village, and the ones where the kids raced in and raced out into the village and they led the role. Everybody followed them. And then I saw the families that gathered at the door, and Dad says, this is what we're going to do first, and this is what we're going to do second. So we need to be prepared for all of those kinds of ways of going, that we have things that the kids can discover at their level of not just height, that's important, but also their level of understanding and relating, and build on that to bring the families into it, so that the adults are part of the conversation and activity that goes with it. And I know many of the writers about this, and I think of Lynn Deerking in particular, have talked about family agendas. They know when they start out, somebody knows when they make that choice, that they have a goal for themselves. And very often it is in the area of we are creating memories together, and we are also creating conversations that can be part of that continued conversation. So the best thing that can happen is everybody gets involved, everybody has fun. I think that's actually what family learning looks like, to me anyway, is that people are engaged, they look like they're having fun, they laugh a lot, they ponder together, that really becomes experiential. And that we have given them an opportunity to do this kind of thing in their time as a family that will sort of fuel the conversations moving forward. I think that's a big change. I know that in my own experience, I doubt that my parents were going to be engaged in what we were doing. Their sense of being a good parent was to provide this opportunity. Today, I think parents, to be a good parent, see it as the unit and how they strengthen the unit in a much more defined way than we ever did.